Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you another fascinating game from Caruana Kasparov official random match played in St. Louis at Champions Showdown. Caruana won the match with a score of 19-7, but in many games Kasparov was managing to gain advantage just from the opening, but unfortunately he failed to convert into a victory and suffered a lot of painful losses. In one of the games Kasparov even managed to lose on time in a completely winning endgame. In this video I want to share with you a game which Kasparov won in a brilliant style and he dominated from the start up to the end. Let's see what happened on the board. Kasparov, who was playing with the white pieces, opened up with c4 and Caruana responded with c6, knight f3, f5, d4, d6, white castles kingside, nice castling, right? Your rook is already on f1 and there it goes, knight f6. The problem with this position is that both queens are on awkward squares and it's not quite clear how are they going to activate them. b3 by Kasparov, he's preparing to fianchetto his dark squared bishop. Meanwhile Caruana castles kingside, bishop b2, knight c7, g3, h6. This is the start of a very dubious idea by Caruana, with which he is weakening his kingside too much. There it goes, g5 is on the board, and later Kasparov would exploit all those weaknesses successfully. d5 by Kasparov and a bad response by Caruana, c5. With this move he's simply burying his dark squared bishop on b8, while on the other hand this dark squared bishop is becoming the lord of the long diagonal. Knight e3 by Kasparov, f4, knight f5, bishop takes f5, bishop takes f5, and now the second bishop is getting a nice diagonal, and at any moment white can put his bishop on e6 and start harassing black king. Queen g7, queen g2, both players are trying to activate their queens. Knight e8, king h1, later white will put his rook on g1, g4, knight h4, queen g5, bishop c1. We have a very nasty pin. White is attacking the pawn on f4. Here Caruana played knight h5, and finally we have it, bishop e6 check, king h8, queen e4. Look at this, guys. White's position is totally winning and black has no chance to survive. Right now one of the possible threats can be knight g6 check. That's why Caruana played king g7, but this time he stepped into knight f5 check, king h8, she takes f4, queen g6, and bishop b2 check. I really like this position where two bishops are simply demoralizing black's position. King h7, rook g1. There it goes. This time the rook is joining the attack. Now white wants to capture on g6, knight f6, and bishop takes f6. Of course it's not so easy to give up this powerful bishop, but removing the defender is always a good idea, you know. Rook takes f6 by Caruana. Well, knight takes f6 could have allowed black to show a tougher resistance, but even in this case black has no chance to survive. In our game we have rook takes f6 and a beautiful move by Kasparov, rook takes g4. The rook is untouchable because of this knight takes e7, discover, check, and black is losing his queen. Let's go back. In our game after rook takes g4 we have rook takes e6 and queen takes e6, though white could even play rook g1. This is a very beautiful move suggested by the engine. The idea is that if rook takes e4, then after rook takes g6, just no way to neutralize this mating threat. Or after rook g1, if queen takes g4, then simply queen takes e6, and again white is winning. And in our game after rook takes e6, Kasparov played queen takes e6, queen takes g4. Well, queen takes e6 again could have allowed black to prolong his resistance, but even in this case just no way to survive, you know. Now white wants to double up the rooks and play rook g6. If rook g8, then this time rook h4 can be very unpleasant. Let's go back. In our game after queen takes e6 we have queen takes g4, and after queen takes h6 check, king g8, rook g1, Caruana resigned. He's also losing his queen and victory is just a matter of moves. A very convincing victory by Garry Kasparov, and I hope that you enjoyed this game greatly. In the end, here is a chess puzzle for you where the task is to find the winning move for white. Again, you have to exploit the weakness of the long diagonal, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.